What up though guys, it's your boy CVD and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I went from here to here in my color grade in just 6 easy adjustment layers. So come check it out. Alright guys, so before we get into the video, I want to thank you guys for stopping by, checking out the channel. If you are new here, please, at the end of the video, if you like what you saw, please smash that subscribe button. If this is not your first time here, thank you for coming back. If you like the video, make sure you drop me a like, all that good stuff. Have any questions or comments, you guys know my motto, holla at your boy. I'll answer all emails, DMs, private messages, all that good stuff. Anyway, all right, let's jump into the video. So this is one of the images that I was working on, and I wanted to show you guys actually how I color graded it, if I can talk right today. And this is actually what it looks like after I color graded it. So basically I got maybe six or seven different adjustment layers. I'm going to show you guys how I did that, and hopefully it's something that you can learn and use when you're color grading. I know color grading is a very personal thing, so there is no wrong or right way to do it. However, just kind of play around with it and see what you like, and go from there. All right, so let me go ahead and delete this group, and we'll start fresh from the beginning. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a curves adjustment. And what I don't like right now, I think the image is pretty good right now as far as the coloring, but it's a little bit flat after, you know, skin retouching and all that good stuff. And what I noticed right off is in her skin, there's a lot of green and blue tones in the shadows. So that's the very first thing I want to tackle. So I'm going to go to my channels, and I'm going to go to the green, and I'm just going to remove some of that green in the shadows, probably to about right there. Yeah, that looks good. Let's see how that looks. That looks a little bit better. I definitely don't want too much green in her skin. And I'm going to go into my blue channel and remove some of the blues out the shadows as well. Just a little bit, not a whole lot. And right there looks a little better. What I want to do is kind of get this a little bit golden brownish type of vibe. So that's the area of the coloring that I'm looking at. So this is my first layer, just removing the greens and the blues and the shadows. So far so good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another curves adjustment. You guys will learn I love curves. Curves has so much range, but yeah. So my second curves, what I want to do is just increase the brightness just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. So I'm going to take my midpoint, I'm going to boost it up a little bit. Let's see, about right there is good. I don't want to do it too much. So right there is a little bit dark. Right here, midtones are a little bit brighter, which is what I want. Unfortunately, the image still seems a little bit flat, kind of lacks some contrast. So guess what I'm going to open up? Another curves layer. So let's go into curves again. And I don't know if you guys use these presets, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of the Adobe presets for adding contrast, and I'm going to use the increase contrast preset. Now you can do this on your own. You can make your own presets, but I'm going to use this one because I'm used to using it and I kind of know what it's going to look like. So I'm going to add that contrast, but right now it's just way too much. So I'm going to take down that opacity to about 25%. Let's see how far he looks. No, I think I like 25. Let's take it back to 25. Yeah, 25 looks good. All right, so in this contrast, you see it really only affects the shadows and the midtones. I mean, shadows and the highlights. So what I'm going to do is I want some overall contrast. So I'm going to open up a brightness contrast adjustment layer, and I just want to bring up that brightness just a tad bit, and bring up the contrast just a little bit, just overall. Like, you got to remember when you're color grading, you want to make sure you're making subtle changes. You don't want to, go balls to the wall and oversaturate it, overcolor anything. So small, minor adjustments is what works for me. I mean, you may like oversaturated stuff. Hey, more power to you. Do your thing. But for me, I'm gonna make some, subtle changes. So that's why my numbers aren't as high as some of the other color grading videos you've seen in the past, probably. All right, so far, I think I like the image. Let's toggle it off and on, and it is coming together pretty good. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to launch my Luminosity Mask. Jesus, say that 2 times. Luminosity Mask. So I have an action, and I'm going to launch my Luminosity Mask. And when I first run that action, does nothing looks like it's changed. But if you go into the channels, you'll see that my mask has been launched and all my alpha channels are available. So before I get into Luminosity Mask, let me just explain to you guys a brief overview what Luminosity Mask are. They're basically a tone-based selection, which make it possible for you to like alter specific tones of the image. The selection target will like go from brights to midtones to darks, letting you make the adjustment that you want to make based on those tones. Now I'm going to link a website in the descriptions called Capture Landscape. Those guys have a fantastic technical breakdown of what Luminosity Mask is and what they're used for, and they actually include an action at the end of the article. So I'll link that in the description below about Luminosity Mask. So for me, I already know when I start doing a little bit more coloring, I want to only affect the lights. So I'm going to go into my channel. I'm going to command click on lights, and as you guys see, the little marching ants is around there. And then I'm going to go back to my layers, and I'm going to open up a selective color. Here we go, selective color. And so now what I want to do is, like I said, I wanted to I want to make the image a little bit golden brown type situation. So I'm going to start on my yellow channel. I'm going to take out any cyan, which there's not a whole lot. I'm going to pump in some magenta. And again, guys, like I said before, like this is based on taste. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You can do it however, whatever warms your heart. That's how you do it, All right, so let me go into my yellow channel. I definitely know I want to pump more yellows into the bright areas. Let's see. Yeah. And then I want to bring up those blacks a little bit. Now, the bad thing about this is that you're doing this overall to the whole image, so mid-tone shadows and highlights. But I'm going to show you guys how to eliminate some of the areas that you don't want to eliminate. Let's see, that looks about good. Let's see. Don't look too bad. We're getting there. So now I want to go into my cyans. I just want to bump up the black just a little bit. Again, subtle changes. Oh, wrong way. All right, so that's looking pretty good. And now I'm going to go into my black channel and let's take out these cyans again. Ugh. Let's bump up these magenta. I actually like having like the color grade because it's a little bit more creative. You got so much flexibility in Photoshop to color grade. You can pretty much make an image whatever you want to. But again, just be subtle with it. Don't overdo it. I'm gonna take out some of these blacks. It's about right there. Yeah. So the bad part about this is I noticed that there's some of the areas I don't want to have this color grade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a curves adjustment. I'm going to actually put it under my selective color layer, and then I'm going to clip it to the curves layer, and I'm going to open up a brush, and I'm just going to paint away using a black brush on some of the areas that I don't want affected on the image, such as her face, her hands, her legs. And I'm doing this with a mouse, so it's not as accurate as I would be if I was using my Wacom. but I didn't feel like grabbing a Wacom. So I'm just using the mouse. And I'm just going in and getting rid of some of these areas that I don't want affected by the selective color layer. And so far it looks good. But definitely when you're doing it, be a little bit more accurate than I'm being right now. But all right, and so the last thing that I'm going to do is I think I want to do an overall selective color for the yellows. Let's see. So we're going to go to select the color again. And we're just going to go to yellow channel. And we're going to take out some of these yellows, which is going to give us a little bit more brown. And those weeds. Man, that looks good. What you guys think? Let's see. Let's see how we looking. From there to there. I think I like it. Looks like the original that I showed you guys. But yeah, that's how I approach color grading. Very simple, very subtle. I tend not to overdo it. Just play around with the colors and see what works for the vibe that I have. So thank you guys for joining. I hope this has been helpful. I know it's been a short video. If you guys have any questions, make sure you holler at your boy, email, DM, all that good stuff. If this is your first time here, make sure you drop me a subscribe. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.